Welcome everyone to our three-part training series that we are putting on to kind of fill you in on all things operations, account management, and to give you some really great takeaways as to when you're hiring or what you might want to look for or some things that you need in your business as you are growing. So, quick intro. My name is Taylor. I'm the founder of Dot and Company, and we do account management for agencies.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. Taylor and I have been kind of shooting the breeze behind the scenes about like why these two things are so important. And I'm really excited to kind of bring the heat over the next couple of sessions and like really just kind of crack open, the behind the scenes look at how we can really make this work for agencies. So I'm Alyson Caffrey. I'm the founder of Operations Agency, and we help agencies structure the back of house so that they can deliver amazing results to their clients and scale comfortably. And yeah, we're going to talk about account management today, probably one of the most underrated roles in an agency. Would you agree?
Definitely. I think, we chat with agency owners all day, every day, and you do too. And it's this role that's so crucial. It's like the front side of your agency or your business. So it's so important, but so many people don't know how to find these people or how to train them or how to manage them or what to look for. And yeah, it's just like such a crucial role, especially as you're growing.
Yeah, yeah. So what is an account manager? Like, let's just kind of throw that out for everybody.
Yeah. So when we're talking about account managers, we're talking about that people facing person who is uber organized. So they love, using all the systems and stuff that Alyson and her team develop. They're definitely systems oriented, but they're people pleasers in a sense. So they are there to build relationships. They are there to hold the hand of the client and kind of be the client's advocate inside of the business, but also on the flip side, making sure that the team has what they need, they feel supported, and they can deliver the best service for the clients while the account manager is kind of the glue inside of the business, making sure that everything's running smoothly, nothing's falling through the cracks, and that clients are happy.
Yeah, I love that kind of like straddling front and back of house like vibes,
Exactly.
making
Yes.
sure that like the cooks know exactly how to please the folks who are like sitting at the tables ready to eat.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that analogy of like a server, right? Like
Mhm.
every restaurant generally has a server who's there to, talk to clients, take their order, answer questions, making sure that they have everything, the time is coming and like everything's running smooth. And the chefs are in the back making sure that the food gets cooked, nothing's raw, everything's up to standard, and the actual delivery is happening.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I think it's really important too to think about an internal and external client experience when you start to think about like how you operate. And really, it sounds like the account manager just like sits at the helm of that specifically.
Exactly. It's like the face, right? Like the glue. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so agencies obviously benefit from having someone like this, but I mean, why? I think so many times people think that like, oh, I just need more people on the fulfillment side or I just need more people to close deals or whatever it is, but like why is an account manager so crucial other than just the client experience?
Yeah. So most agency owners that we speak with are in this growth mode. So they're scaling, they have the pipeline, they have the clients, they have the team members helping with fulfillment. But there's this point that they hit when they can't take on any more clients because it's generally them or someone on their team who is actually managing the projects and managing the clients. And if you've been in this seat, you know how much time that takes and energy and effort to really give the client the experience that they deserve. So it's like hitting this wall of like growth, and they simply can't scale up like above this point. And also, if it's the agency owner who's doing the account management, they're probably going to be on these sales calls and not taking on clients because they know they have to manage themselves, right? It's like this like brain thing that happens and we see it so often. So it's like a you shouldn't be doing the account management once you hit this certain point because it's probably not your zone of genius. And if you're the CEO or, growing and scaling a big business, you should not be doing the account management. It's just like you should hand that over to people who are experts in this area, and people who can do just as good, if not a better job than you can. Because if you find somebody who actually knows how to manage relationships, projects, keep everything running smoothly, they're going to do a much better job than you are. So they're giving your clients a better experience. And on the flip side of your agency, it allows you to grow and scale so much quicker.
Yeah, I think truer words in this vein have never been spoken. I know so many agency owners who are just afraid to let go and afraid to be in a position of like allowing someone else to just take the reins of their business. I was laughing there for a second, but it is actually really upsetting when you're afraid to close, you can't
Yeah.
sell because you know what it means for the back end of things. So I feel like this is so crucial to, yeah, just like getting to that next level of everything. So, talk to me about the initial warning signs, right? We feel like we can't sell. We feel like, maybe things are a little bit crazy on the back end, but like, what are some of the other warning signs that we see when we know it's time for an account manager?
Yeah. So I would say if you are the one who's currently managing clients, you're going to start to feel this like panic feeling. You're going to say like my inbox is filling up. I feel like I can't get back to clients in time. I feel like the onboarding process is slow. I feel like the team is always nagging me for things that I need to get from the client, and it's like there's all these balls that feel like they're being dropped because of you. And you're probably laying in bed at night being like, did I get back to that client, or where are we at with this? Oh, I need to remember to do this tomorrow. So it starts to kind of get overwhelming. That's kind of one thing. I'll give you an example of an agency that I started working with years ago as an account manager. The agency owner was like taking 3 days to get back to clients. They were like, you know, sitting there trying to craft the perfect email, trying to come up with the perfect flow, trying to come up with all of these things for their clients, that it was like I was able to come in and just say, no, like I'm going to get back to the client like now, really quickly, so that we get the ball rolling, because in 3 days, we're already 3 days behind. So if you catch yourself sitting and trying to like write an email and it takes you 4 hours, and it's really putting a cog in the system, is that the right term? Um, that's when it's time to bring on an account manager. Also, a lot of people that I meet with have like a pipeline full, and they're like, I literally cannot bring on any more clients until I get help. Well, that is a huge problem, but also an exciting opportunity for your business. If you have a pipeline of people that are waiting for your service and you just can't service them, well, bring in somebody to do a really good job. Like, let go of some of that control, and that's when your business will scale.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the folks that I talk with have just projects that go way over. That's like a huge one for us, right? So, like, I mean, we all know that the biggest way to kind of crush the bottom line, what you're taking home in your agency, is to just let projects keep going over and over and over and pushing things back and pushing things back. I mean, I could see someone like this being a huge driver for profit. Do you agree?
Definitely. Yeah. Most times as an agency owner, if these are your clients, you're like, oh, I want to like manage this relationship. I want them to like me, and I'm not going to say no. If you have somebody who's in that seat overseeing the project and they have KPIs to hit, they can be the person who says, no, sorry, like we need to get this done now, or we cannot do all these extra things because it's not in scope. That by having somebody in that seat, it's going to give you a lot of freedom back, because they can kind of drive that for you.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine that something like this is, I mean, listen, we talked about client experience already, and we've talked about, just kind of getting things back in scope and making sure things don't totally feel on fire. But really, I feel like it's more about like getting in front of things versus reacting to things. And truthfully, this is so true with a lot of the folks that we work with as well. Like having someone at the front of communicating with clients and being proactive and doing some of those things, it really can ease the minds of your clients knocking down your door, right? If they're getting answers to their questions instantly from going to an account manager versus waiting 3 days to hear from you. I mean, really, it's not the same comparably at all, right? I mean, obviously go with the account manager, right?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
What is the team saying around us? I always love to open it up to the team too, because I know that we don't work in a vacuum, right? Whenever we're experiencing some of this stuff, like what might team members be saying to like, ding, 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 we need an account manager?
Yeah. I would say if you don't have an account manager right now, you're going to start to hear things like, hey, have you heard from the client? I'm waiting on this to do my job. Or, hey, have you gotten approvals on this? Like the team is like always waiting on you to get things from the client. That is definitely something. I would say if projects are falling through the cracks. So if you have, let's say, media buyers or people on the fulfillment side who are really good at their job, but they're not necessarily strong on the project management side, then things are going to start to fall through the cracks. So on the client side, you might start to see, projects, like you already said, Alison, like projects are running behind, things are falling through the cracks. Then that's something that maybe your team isn't as strong in, that you need somebody to kind of come in and whip them into shape a little bit. That is definitely something that we see. I would say those are kind of the big things. Like either the team doesn't have what they need and they're always nagging you for stuff, or if projects are kind of running behind.
Yeah, yeah, that makes total sense. I think too, something that we've seen kind of when we start to kind of make these recommendations about perhaps bringing in an account manager, oftentimes we'll see perhaps a service that might be new or something that's not fully formed yet. I'm really interested to hear your perspective on this because oftentimes agencies, especially in the beginning, right? I always say agencies are sometimes accidental business owners, right? They're really
Totally.
craft. And then they start to get amazing results and they're like, oh my goodness, I need a lot of help here. And I can see this opportunity to grow. And then they end up running a business, which is truthfully why we are in business. We just kind of help them navigate those choppy waters. But oftentimes what will happen is agency owners will be like, I have such a big portfolio of things I can do for a client that they begin to just say yes to things. And so I wonder what your experience has been between like tested viable service that they do like repeatedly versus having an account manager that's able to kind of manage the quote unquote traditional full service agency.
Yes, we see this a lot. So there's obviously the agents. I would say most agencies are kind of in that camp of adding on services and creating things as they're going and like always coming up with things. But yeah, we see it all the time. But I think the biggest thing for an account manager is to understand what the goal is for the client and what the goal is for the agency and kind of work backwards and help build a process from that. So maybe it's a one off and the account manager can just like figure it out as they're going, but make it look professional and polished as they're kind of navigating this. But also thinking like, is this something we're going to be repeating? Are we going to be offering SEO for all of our clients? Or is this just like a one off for this one client, for example? So I think having an account manager who can just be a little bit agile, who can take things as they're running and just say like, okay, great, like I will figure this out. I think that's the biggest thing. And we do a lot of coaching and training for account managers. And one of the biggest things that we're coaching on is how to think for yourself, how to just figure things out, how to Google things, how to research things and figuring it out on your own. And that is honestly such a big part of our role as an account manager is like, okay, this client is expecting me to know everything about SEO. So I'm just going to figure out how we're going to onboard them or how this process is going to work, how the reporting is going to work. So it's kind of like you just have to be a little bit agile and run with it. But I would say most agencies, it's kind of like a attack on services as they roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I love your mention of kind of figuring out as they go, because in the next session, I'm super excited to jump into systems and what people can kind of prepare behind the scenes before they take this role on. But what resources do you have for kind of this session and for folks who are perhaps just thinking through, do I need an account manager right now?
So, like I said, I chat with agency owners every day and help them figure out is an account manager the right role, or maybe they need an operations person, or maybe they need an assistant. Like, what do they need? But some things to consider are at what point do you bring in an account manager and does it make sense for your business where you're at? And can you let go of control enough that this is going to be beneficial for you? So, we have a document that we'll share with you guys that you can download. It's 5 questions you have to ask before you bring in an account manager that are really, really important. I really encourage you to read through those and take some time, sit down, think about where your business is at. And maybe an account manager isn't the best role. And maybe it is, but it really depends on the timing, how many clients you have, what type of personality your team members have, all these things that really go into it. So we'll link that up that you guys can download and you can really take some time to think about if an account manager is the best role for you. But in short, if you're growing and scaling, you do need an account manager at some point. It just kind of is when is the right time, right?
I love that. So many great tidbits in this series. I think, like, honestly, doing this deep dive is going to be so beneficial for some folks because some people just need a different perspective, right? When they start to get overwhelmed and they start to feel like things are all over the place, perhaps thinking through hiring an account manager is the next step. So I'm excited to dive in next time. And this was an awesome
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I'm excited. Next time we're going to chat systems, what you might want to have in place before, during, after the hiring process. So I'm excited. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise. I'm excited for next one.